Hello, Grill fam. You're watching April Ryan on the Hill, where we bring you the latest in politics every week. Let's start in Florida, where U.S. Representative Val Demings is hoping to unseat Republican Senator Marco Rubio on November 8th. Demings recently told me that she's better suited to represent all Floridians, especially in the midst of inflation.
I grew up the daughter of a maid and a janitor. So there's no one, at least in this Senate race in Florida, who understands more than me what it's like to stretch a dollar to make ends meet. You know, the Democratic Party is the only party that has taken major steps to reduce the costs for everyday Americans and everyday Floridians.
Now to Georgia, where the gubernatorial race between Stacey Abrams and incumbent Governor Brian Kemp is heating up. theGrio's owner and CEO, Byron Allen, spoke with Abrams recently. She told him if she were elected, she would tackle the fallout from the overturning of Roe v. Wade.
If I become governor of Georgia, this is what it means for the rest of Black America and the rest of America. Right now, between Texas and Oklahoma, across to South Carolina, from Tennessee down to Florida, women do not have the right to control their bodies. They do not have the right to access abortion. If I am the governor, I can make Georgia the oasis for Black women because there will be no one else. I'm it.
Now to the West Coast, Los Angeles, California, where mayoral candidate Karen Bass continues to lead in the polls. If she wins the election, she will make history by becoming LA's first female mayor. Bass told me that if she wins, she would tackle the issue of homelessness, inflation, and income inequity. Now back to the East Coast. In North Carolina, Sherry Beasley, who is running for U.S. Senate, is trailing slightly behind in the polls against her Republican challenger, Representative Ted Budd. If Beasley pulls through and wins her race, she will make history, becoming the state's first Black U.S. Senator. Over the weekend, the forever president, former President Barack Obama, campaigned in battleground states ahead of the midterm elections. One of those states included Wisconsin, where the 44th president showed his support for U.S. Senate candidate Mandela Barnes. In a recent interview, Barnes told theGrio that Obama inspired his run for the Senate.
2004 is when I heard Barack Obama's DNC speech, and that's when I was, that's when I first got inspired by him. And that's what led me to become an organizer. I wouldn't be on this path if I didn't hear that speech in 2004.
And Vice President Kamala Harris traveled to Baltimore City on Saturday to campaign for gubernatorial candidate Wes Moore, who is poised to win the election against Republican challenger Dan Cox. In a recent interview with Moore, he told me how he plans to govern Maryland if he were elected as the state's first Black governor.
While I plan on being governor for the entire state, we're hitting all 24 jurisdictions, and people are like, y'all are everywhere. And I'm like, get used to it, because that's how I plan on governing. But I also, it's never lost to me the fact that, I am a proud Baltimorean, and Baltimore embraced me. Yeah. In a way that, for so much of my childhood, so much of my life, I had not gotten. So I'm a very proud Baltimorean. And I also know that you cannot have a thriving Maryland if you do not have a growing and a safe Baltimore.
That's it for April Ryan on the Hill. We'll return next week with all the latest news in politics. Also be sure to mark your calendars. Join me, Mark Lamont Hill, and Natasha Alford on election night for our special, Black America Votes. We'll be tracking poll results as they come in. We'll also talk to lawmakers and community leaders about issues impacting Black America. Tune in to theGrio.com and theGrio's YouTube for live coverage. Again, that's Tuesday, November 8th, from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern.